Okay, boys and girls, today we have a Wells Gardner K5500 or K5515 if you will. This is the 25-inch medium res version of the K4900, the 19-inch. And this is out of a 720. This is local to me. A local collector was able to contact me and say, hey, I got this monitor out of my 720 and it's dead. I don't know what to do with it. And he basically did all the troubleshooting already. He did the cap kit and the flyback, and the fuse was actually blown. So he piggybacked another fuse on it, and it blew immediately as well. So the cap kit and flyback has already been done, but he didn't do a full reflow. So I went through and inspected all of the normal stuff. On these series of chassis, it's very common to have issues where, where'd my pointer go? Here it is. To have these joints here be cracked or broken. So this is all part of the power circuit here. These can be cracked and broken. These can be cracked and broken. These can be cracked and broken. That's the most common problem when you have a chassis that's dead. So this was totally dead. You turn it on, it did nothing. But that's because the fuse was blown. So after he replaced the fuse, or piggybacked one onto here, this is the original fuse. After he piggybacked one onto here, it blew immediately as well. So he's like, okay, he threw his hands up and said, I don't really know what to do from that point. So he contacted me, was able to get in contact with me and said, hey, I got this monitor, can you look at it? I said, sure, no problem. So he brought it to me, and the first thing I did was give it a nice, good visual inspection, and I didn't see any joints anywhere that were cracked or broken. So visual inspection passed in that aspect. No cracked or broken joints, nothing obvious like, oh, there's our problem, nothing like that. Everything looked okay. So I began testing the HOT over here and the voltage regulator over here. And if we look over here, the voltage I've already replaced these. So this is the voltage regulator. I'm sorry, no, take that back. This is the HOT by the flyback. This is your voltage regulator by your AC input in your power supply section. So with this being completely dead, I tested the HOT and the voltage regulator, and they were both bad. So let me show you how to test these. Your STR3831 should not have any legs that short to the frame. If we get our meter here, and we test continuity mode here, well actually go to diode mode here, there you go. So if we touch the frame and we touch this leg, there's our voltage drop. This leg, open. This leg, shorted. You don't want that. Not on the STR381. And what I mean by that is if we go to the one I've replaced, and we go to the frame, just like so, and you can look in here and see the legs if we zoom in. Gosh, this is always difficult. If you zoom in here, you can see I'm still touching the back frame here, like this. There you go. Now if we zoom in here, you can see that there's three legs. There's this leg down in here. If we touch that one, 0.582. If we touch this one, 0.554. If we touch this one, 0.126. And that's reading, that one there is reading through our B+ resistor right here. So you don't want any legs shorted to the frame. That's how you read that. And of course, again, if we go back to this one and test this one again, we got a short to the frame. So voltage regulator is bad. Now the HOT is the same deal. You don't want any legs touching the frame. So if we go to the frame and we touch this leg, shorted. Other leg, shorted. So HOT is gone as well. And it's the same procedure here if we just touch the frame. And it's going to be tough to see, but if we touch the frame here, just the screw head, and we touch this leg, there's our 0.5 voltage drop. And other leg, 0.5 volt, like any other HOT. So those have been replaced now. And I hooked this up to the tube that came with it. And I don't have a fuse to solder in, so I just jumpered in I got a 2 amp circuit breaker. It's supposed to be 4 amp, but it's not gonna, I mean, if it holds, it should hold with a 2 amp, should be fine. So I took my fuse here, I'm sorry, my circuit breaker, clipped it on there, just like so. And I hooked it all up and powered it up. Dead. Completely dead. Nothing. No signs of life, no B+, no activity. It does nothing. So we know that it's not a solder joint. It's not the HOT, it's not the voltage regulator, it's not the fuse because I have this in line. So the only other thing it could be is some type of component. So I went through and checked all the diodes in the power circuit, all the rectifier diodes here that can be taken out when it's hooked up to a non-isolation transformer. I checked all of these power diodes. Let's get rid of this again. You know, these, where is it? I'm looking through the viewfinder here. There's these two, and these two. Those all check good. I checked all the resistors, all the diodes, all the components, couldn't find anything. So I hooked it back up again and just started poking around various places. And that's when I got to this resistor. This resistor normally mounts right here on the frame, and it's supposed to be a 3.3 ohm resistor, as we can see here. Well, it's upside down, but 3.3 ohms. 3.3K. 3.3K? No, I think it's 3.3 ohms. 3.3 ohms, otherwise the K would be after the 3. 3.3 ohms is what this is supposed to be. And if we look at a 4900, oh, come on. I've got a 4900 here, and it's the same exact resistor. You can't see it because it's mounted to the frame, but if we read this resistor, it reads 3. Oh, come on. I got high resistance from bad connection here. Hang on. There you go. 3.1 ohms. So yeah, it's supposed to be 3.3. 3.1 is fine. So now if we go back to this one, and I take my leads here and plug them in, we get nothing. Open. Absolutely nothing. Now if I take my red, actually let's see here, I want to, well let's see, so I know my leads are good because if I take this off of here and touch this, 0.2. If I touch this, open. So our 3.3 resistor here is wide open. And that would certainly do it. I found this by, when I had it in circuit, I had 150 volts on this leg, and I had nothing on this leg. This leg was 0 volts, this is 150. So I'm like, oh, well, that resistor has to be bad. In circuit, it was reading 1K, so I knew that wasn't right. Out of circuit, it's wide open. If we just disregard our leads and go right to the source and ask the horse. So you can see here, leads are good, 0.3, touch these, and we get nothing. So I got to see if I can find one of these. Most likely I don't have one, but it's possible. It's even bent. It's got like a bow to it. I don't know if it comes through on camera, but anyway, yeah, with this being wide open, I'm not surprised this thing's totally dead. So if I'm able to replace this and it works, we had, and I don't even know which resistor this is, to be quite honest, but this resistor is open, and we had a bad voltage regulator and a bad HOT and an open fuse. So I'm going to see if I can find a replacement for this, and if I can, I'll hook my circuit breaker back up and try it again, see what we get. So stand by. So I pilfered through my collection. I don't have any 4900 spare chassis. This one over here is a working one that I was showing earlier. I don't want to rob any parts from that. But the Hanorex Polo has this resistor that's the exact same size, same wattage, everything, but instead of being 3.3, it's 4 ohm. You can see here that originally we had the 3.3. This one is 4 ohms. So I think I'm just going to put this 4 ohm one in there, and it's probably going to be just fine. So I'll put this 4 ohm one in there. Let's make sure it works first, because that would suck. Let's see here. My leads are still connected to my meter, and if we grab this one and this one, 5.2. Well, it's not under load and it's not in circuit, so that'll probably be okay. We'll try it, see what we get. So I need to bend this frame open here and slave in this other one. See if I can do this. There we go. Okay, can I get this out of here? I'm gonna have to go a lot more than that. There we go. They're out with the old, in with the new. In with the new! Come on. Man, this is just not wanting to go in there. Now what do you have to say for yourself? It's the same damn resistor. Oh, it's ever so slightly bigger. Oh, darn it. Well, I can make it work. No big deal. I'll make it work the way that I have it here. Okay, here we go. All right. It's gonna have to work that way. Alright, there we go. That'll work. Okay. Let's make sure that I didn't break it irreparably. Trying to get that in there. Nope, still good. Okay. Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna solder these in here. That in there, this one through here, all right. Alright, so that one's nice and soldered in there. That one's nice and soldered in there, so let's get our wires back in our strain relief. Get this back on the frame. There we go. Like it never came off. Okay, now let's measure it in circuit. Because before, where did they go? Here we are. With that bad one in circuit, it read 1 k ohm. It read 1 k ohm in circuit with this bad one installed. So let's see what it reads. It's still probably hot, but there you go, 4.6, closer to 4. I think we're going to be fine, ladies and germs. So let's get this back on a tube and see if it powers up. Because like I said before, it was completely, totally dead. I had 150 volts on this leg, but 0 on that one, of course, because this was open. So I bet it works now. I'm going to have to get my my circuit breaker reinstalled on the fuse, but okay, let's get it on the tube, cross our fingers. Well, we're set up here ready to go kind of precariously. I've got test pattern generator hooked up for a video signal in case it turns on. Let's go ahead and turn it on, set to medium resolution. I've got my circuit breaker here going to my leads, which are attached to the fuse. Then we have another lead right there on that leg of that resistor to measure B plus in case it does work, to make sure we're reading our 130, and my ground's hooked up, of course, as well. So, assuming this turns on, doesn't explode or blow up or take out a HOT or a voltage regulator again, who knows. Hopefully we're successful. That's on. So, well, let's see. Nothing left to do but to try it. 1, 2, 3. Outstanding. Do we have an image? Yes! Let's see if we can clear it up. Hachi machi. Okay. Okay, brightness, I believe is this one. Am I right on that? Yep, so brightness all the way down. Brightness is all the way down. Let's do screen pot down just a bit, roughly there. Let's turn our brightness back up slightly. Come on, you rascal. There we go. It's too bright. Right about there. There. Perfect. Let's readjust our focus. And that's not bad. What do we get for color bars? Hey! La-di-da! We got some lines across the top here, but I wonder if vertical size will make that change here. Yeah, they go away, and when you stretch it, it kind of gets worse. But I'll put a real board in here. I'll put my cruising board in here. But successful. Yeah, this isn't going to be a video on adjustments and getting the colors and screen position just perfect. We just wanted to make sure we got this up and running. So this was originally in a 720 and it died. And it had a new cap kit, new flyback. Original owner did that. I did the reflow, didn't see anything, but now it's been reflowed as well, so it's been completely rebuilt, quote unquote. But we had a bad voltage regulator, a bad HOT, and a bad resistor, a bad 3.3 ohm ceramic resistor. Now I don't know which resistor that is. I don't think it's really labeled anywhere, but it was this resistor right there. So, just to test our theory here, I can go ahead and probably pull this circuit breaker, and it should shut off. Yep. All right. Push it back in. Back on. There you have it. So, successful repair. Wells Gardner K5500 or K5515, whatever you want to say. And we have 130, give or take, close enough. And yeah, apparently that resistor works. Now, it remains to be seen whether or not it will last. I mean, obviously I should put the original 3.3 back in, but I think a 4 ohm resistor will work just fine. As we can see, it works. So, and we have good B+. I think it'll probably be just fine. I'm sure there's naysayers out there that'll say put 3.3 back in, but I think with 4.4 instead of 3.3, same wattage and everything, I'm sure it'll be just fine. So there you have it. Nice, quick, easy repair. Just wanted to show that off because we don't get a lot of K4900s, especially the 25-inch K5500 in very often. But yeah, I'll get this tweaked and fixed and set up and colors and everything adjusted and give this back to the original owner. Again, he is local here, so I'm sure he'll appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned and see you next time.